In society, to be regarded as bankable is to be seen as someone who makes a lot of money, either from personal brands or businesses. My name is Bisola Ayeola, and on today's episode of Real Talk, I'll be chatting with a few friends about how you can monetize your personal brand and also crack the code of bankability. Let's go, guys. Hello, SA. Hello, Tomiwa. Hello, Lani.
Hi.
Thank you guys for taking out time to be with us here as we want to have our chit chat on bankability. So let me start with you, Tomiwa. Have you heard of the term bankable? And if you have, what do you think of it? What comes to mind?
I think money comes to mind. Something related to making money,
Yeah.
one way or the other.
One way or the other. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Lani?
Same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Money, but obviously sometimes it's also credibility. I'd
Credibility.
say credibility as well. Yeah.
That's it. What about you, SA?
Well, they couldn't have said it better, but then being bankable also means you something sellable, like something that would be good in the eyes of the market or something. So yeah.
So let me start with you now. Have you ever had to use the term bankable for yourself or when you're probably talking about somebody else?
Well, I think I've used it for myself, especially in the aspect of, social media, brand influencing, where brands, come to you and they want you to sell their products. That's you being bankable.
Yeah.
Because for the fact that they can come to you and say, we want to work with you, they already think you are going to make us money. So yeah, that's what it is.
Now, in an era where overnight anyone can become an internet sensation, you can go viral over anything. Let's just you drinking water in a funny way, bam. Hey,
1
you
million
become.
followers.
Look at is it Kabi? That is Kabi.
Yeah,
He literally
yeah.
doesn't say anything, and he's one of the big. He's the biggest TikToker in the world, and obviously he makes a lot of money off of that. Do you think that there's a lot of pressure on other individuals? Lani, I'm directing this at you. At other individuals, let me put in context of clout chasing, doing all sorts just to be bankable. And let's answer this one first. Because we find that, the arguments, sometimes we have arguments with people saying things like, oh no, you can't have a bad attitude, brands are not going to work with you. But we find that these days, the more toxic you are, the more money you make.
Yeah.
So
Perhaps I should be more toxic. But yeah, I think that if you are selling the product, brands don't really care. That's my opinion. If you are going to move their product off the shelf, if they pay me X amount of money and I sell triple X of their products, then they will do what they have to do and manage my bad attitude. Exactly. But for me, to be honest, it's slightly different for me because most of my work I'm not a social media person. I'm mostly at the back end of the entertainment industry. So when you say, does it put pressure? I'll speak from my point of view. Sometimes it does because I'm now thinking, okay, you know what? Perhaps I should post more on social media. Perhaps I should become an influencer and make money because it's added income. So obviously people pay me for the work I do, but then there's this will pay me to help us sell a jacket. So there is pressure from that point of view to be who I'm not. I don't know about. Sometimes it's not clout chasing. Sometimes it's like you're questioning yourself. Like, do you need to evolve in the way the world is evolving, or you just want to be who you were and then make the money you were making, or you can make more money?
You can make more money. Yeah. But Tomiwa, do you think it's okay for brands like what Lani said something about? They can tolerate your excesses as long as you're bringing the money in for them. But is it a good reflection on the brand itself, associating with someone who, yes, they may think is bankable, but you got a little commas here and there?
Okay, so in my own opinion, I feel like not all brands work with certain people.
Yeah.
There's some very premium brands that once they see certain influencers on their list, they're like, we can't work with this particular person. Because sometimes I have to I get to create lists for some of these brands, and for some reason they just take out some people off my list. Fine, those people are doing numbers, but they just don't want to be associated with that kind of brand. Maybe because they post something Kayamata related, and they're like, what's this all about? So yeah, some brands won't work with certain people. They rather work with maybe some 50K followers, 30K followers that have like genuine engagement.
So do you think that being bankable also has to work side by side with numbers?
So to be honest, I mean, it's good to have numbers.
It's good to have numbers.
Yeah, because numbers, that's like priority. Because without the numbers, how are you going to like convert for me and everything? But sometimes it's not really just about the numbers. It's personality, credibility. Like, for example, now a lot of people try to sell beauty products. So today you're influencing for X brand.
Yeah.
Tomorrow you're influencing for another X brand.
brand.
So are you telling me you are drinking all those teas? Like, you're not drinking all those teas.
Yeah.
We both know that and everything. So, I mean, I should be able to trust, like me, for example, I've actually not worked with any skincare brand yet, because I feel like for me to be able to work with a skincare brand, I must
have been
actually
tested and trusted.
Exactly, my point. So I feel like skincare is like a whole lot when it comes to that, but some people don't just care; they just do anything that comes their way as long as they're paying the money and everything. So.
Essay, I know that you're very particular about the brands you work with. Yeah. I know that we've had a conversation a while back where you said there are tons of brands that come to you, for you to influence their product for them, but you scan, filter until you decide to work with them. What is that thing that's eye-catching? Some people, they are all about the money.
Yeah, true.
Bring the money. But maybe, is it because you have other side hustles? That's why you decide that, let me filter this. I'm not about this lifestyle.
Not really. You see, first of all, as a brand influencer with followers, those followers, they're not just followers, they're your fans. People who look up to you, people who want to do whatever you're doing. Okay, so if I'm going to convince you to buy this particular brand, it means I use it. Okay, and sometimes most of these followers, they don't patronize these people because they want to buy. They patronize because you are the one, putting the product out there. Okay, and also it's always relatable when you work with people who, have good products. You'll be able to market the product.
To be authentic.
So if let's say I'm marketing this water, okay, and the taste is great, amazing, tasteless, if that's what I'll call it. I'll be happy to say it is what it is, but lying about something I've never used, it won't sound convincing. So I have to be practically selective, because if I can't use it, I don't think my followers can use it.
At me, because I'm the host now.
Okay.
I know how my journey into monetizing my own talents came about. I decided to use social media as my own PR company to push myself. I just decided, I started making funny videos, and somehow people decided to start seeing, even though I was already in the filmmaking business, at the time, and I was already making music as well at the time, but I decided, this social media, let's see. And then from 1 follower, 2 followers, 100. I remember when it was my sister's phone I actually used to open my Instagram handle for the first time. Yes, I remember. I borrowed her phone and then she logged me. I said, get out. She logged me in 2013. Okay. But for you, at what point did you decide that, hey, Essie, you can make money off of this thing, let's do this?
Okay. I think it was after I left Big Brother. And then that show was like a platform where, I was already out there, but at that point I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be an actor, I knew I wanted to do business, but the influencing part was what I wasn't sure about, because first of all, before you can be an actual influencer, you need to have like an idea of what the job is all about. It's not about having the numbers. Can you market a product? So there are some people that you give them this product to advertise and they're dancing with it, they're not saying anything. Tell us about the product. What does it do? Why do you think I should buy it? You know? So when I saw people who just dance with this, and I'm like, is this how to market a product? Can you tell me what this product
is doing?
You know? So I'm like, okay, you know what? I think I might do very well
in this,
in this
field.
And I said, okay, let's give it a shot. And just at the point where I was thinking about it, a certain brand came, and I'm like, okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
You know, and that was my first. In fact, I think that was like my breakthrough, because at first I was scared.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, okay, will my followers buy this product?
Yeah,
you
the nerves, everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, hey, hope it
but then
won't be a
again,
waste.
when you're being signed to any brand, you have to be sure that your personality matches with what you're advertising. So it's believable that, okay, yes, this is what it is. And then I looked at myself. I mean, I won't say I'm the most beautiful, but I find, you know, and by the grace of God, I speak well, you know, I'm practically intelligent. Yeah. I give that to myself. So it's okay for people to, you know, want to be like me. So in the process of, oh, she's pretty, she's smart, I like her brows, I like her makeup, I like her hair, I like her outfit. So it's easy for me to market these things to you.
Them,
and you will buy with all, you know, with all pleasure. So that's why I felt like, you know what, I think you should do this, because I'm a marketable brand.
Awesome. Tell me, at what point did you decide that you was gonna make money?
Okay, so for me, I think mine was, okay, first of all, I had like 1,000 followers when I was in SS3 on Twitter.
in SS3 on Twitter?
On Twitter, that was like 2010. Yeah, that was like, it was a big deal.
And you said like legit, because I remember when I made my own first 100 on Twitter, I was in 2014 on Twitter, and I was like, hey, achievement.
So it was a big deal back then, because I mean, okay, like first of all, everybody signs up on Twitter and you are lost on that platform. Like I literally left Twitter for like 1 whole year. Then I came back, I sat with it like, okay, what do people actually do on this Twitter? So I got it. Then one way or the other, I hit 1K followers. Then a friend of mine reached out to me. So then he was already into the whole blogging business back then. So he reached out to me and was like, oh, can I connect your Twitter account to my blog? I'll be paying you like maybe 1K monthly, 1,000 naira monthly.
And sorry, how long was this? How long was
it? 2010. And data back then, days of Java phone, 10 MB can take you a week. So imagine getting 1K for just tweeting. I'm like, mad, this is actually like really cool. So I can actually make money out just tweeting and everything. That's how I started. So then I got admitted into University of Lagos, and because I'm a very curious person, so I wanted to like understand the back end to blogging as well. So I started a blog for something Unilag related back then, and it became like the biggest. And so brands would come to Unilag, they pay me to like put up stuff on the platform. Artists in school pay me to put up their song on the platform because it was like a big deal. So initially, I was facially I wasn't known.
But your name was known.
So I started getting awards. I'll come out. So they started seeing the face. So I started building my own personal brand along that, like in the process. So you're like, on a fine boy to pay them for. So I got a, I don't want to mention the brand. I got one major deal back then, 2015, 2016, because I did that blog for like 3 years before I took it down and everything. But yeah, so that's how it started for me.
So why did you take it down?
So like came up with the policy of you can't be using our name.
Oh wow!
So yeah,
they should have partnered with you.
So eventually, the VC actually reached out to us. So we had a meeting and everything, but
you had moved on. You had moved on to greater things.
I'm a bigger boy now.
So, Lani, looking at them from the outside, because you are always behind.
I still have like 1,000 followers on Twitter.
Are you looking at an influencing bankable journey with your 1,000 followers now?
No.
Why?
So,
yeah.
Okay, why?
Okay. Because she said something about knowing your personal brand, and the truth is that it's not my personal brand. So every new year, we're going into the new year, I'll probably have a new year resolution. I'm going to post on my Instagram every day. I do 2 posts, and I won't post till March. So I've just come to the realization that it's not me,
your thing.
you know. And then also business-wise, right? Obviously, I'm primarily a screenwriter. Business-wise, is one of the things I learned, or someone told me a while back, is don't confuse your customers with your consumers, right? So for me and what I do, my customers are behind the camera. It's the producers that are going to give me jobs. You know, I might get all the hype from people that say, oh, we like your film. They probably watch 10 minutes of the film. They maybe watch the whole thing. And then they might not give me jobs. But me, I follow the money. So I understand my business. And so for me, it's following the money. Following the money is the producers. However, how I spoke earlier on about these things evolving is that obviously you now have people like Shonda Rhimes, who has Shondaland.
Yes.
So having like that brand, because then the streaming platforms want to everybody that has a following. You get obviously, yeah.
So do you think that's detrimental to you? You're a writer. I have brought your characters to life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right? I can say that. I can say
Yeah.
that. I've been part of people that help bring your characters to life. Do you think that it's detrimental to you? I don't know where your projection is or, you know, what you're looking at 5-10 years from now. But you mentioned Shonda Rhimes.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's a line you want to toe? You say you post just 2 times in January. next time is March. And these big brands, your customers, yes, are the ones that they are following these big numbers. So do you think it's like detrimental to you who is not putting yourself out there enough?
So the question is, up till now, the honest truth is I still struggle that do I want to put myself out there? And when, because of the way the world is, I try to think that I still want to have my own thought process and have be my own person. And when I think about influence, yes, there's influence of having X amount of followers and being able to tweet and sell a product, and it's great. But then for me, influence is being part of a show and 1 million people watching it. Changing the way 1 million people watching my show think about a certain... So every show I work on, every movie, there's a theme. There are things I want to address. You know, other people address it on Twitter, some people address it on Instagram. Movies or TV is my platform. So for me, that's my sphere of influence. That's where I can say, oh, I have 1 million viewers watching on X channel. So basically I'm in X amount of homes every 8:30 every day for Monday to Friday. So for me, that's how that's how I make myself happy.
That's how you make
I have 1,000 followers.
Now, tell me what you said something about some years ago. Everyone knew the name, but not everyone knew the face, right? Would you say that now that they can put a face to the name, it has grown the brand and brought in more money for the brand? Or when you were anonymous, when you were just your name, Tomiwa, do you think that was a better time? No pressure to look a certain kind of way. Nobody has to know who this guy, just the name is doing the work.
Yeah, so the thing about having a face to a brand is family and friends will come and tell you, Baba, I beg, let me post this thing. But if you don't know I'm the one in charge, there's no way you reach out to me and say, Baba, let me post. So I feel like apart from that, a lot of people want to work with brands that they can actually relate with on a one-on-one. I mean, I have other accounts that my face is actually not attached to. So like, okay, recently, a brand reached out to one of my pages. And the person was like, because I've worked with that particular agency.
Is that one of your pages? Tell us what your pages. Are you the one behind? No. Did I call any name? I just said, are you the one behind?
No, but so like, so the person reached out to the page and she was like, oh, can I get a red card, blah, blah, blah. So I sent the red card. She sent an email to send an invoice. So I was just tempted to reach out because I knew who I was texting.
Oh
This person, I had to just text that person like that. Fam, this is me. Don't be
Did you give her a discount?
Yes.
Okay, because you just review yourself like that without a discount.
Yeah, I did. I actually gave her a discount. And what happened? She paid that same day. Normally, she might probably pay like maybe once later because, okay, and again, she might not really trust who she was texting and all of that. So I had to like come out and say, oh, this is me, blah, blah, blah. So some people just want to work with brands they can actually relate to it on a one-on-one. So I would say I've actually made more money now with the face than back in the days without the face.
Tomiwa, you deal with Twitter more, right? How do we how it? How do we understand? Because I know that a lot of people are, so many of my friends who, it's like you said, it's a numbers game for some brands. The more numbers you have, the more followers you have, the more, that means our engagements are up. I want to associate with this. But it's difficult times where algorithm is messing us up, you know. You are seeing your number, you are seeing the followers, but it's not tallying with the numbers. You are seeing people following you, but it's not tallying. How does one handle this? The pressure, all of it. How do you handle it?
Okay, so I mean, first of all, we need to understand the fact that none of these platforms is actually our father's property. so normally they will definitely mess with us. Like sometimes they take down influencers' accounts for no reason whatsoever. Then algorithms is also messing up because see, the truth of the matter is last. Instagram wants you to buy ads. So
yes, they do.
Now they want you to buy ads. That's why they won't show a lot of people your
But
post.
how then does this affect the bankability of the individual? You've strived for so many years, you built this base, and then all of a sudden, because you've been making money off of it, you know, your followership has been growing and all of it, and then boom, they just cap it. How then do you stay bankable? How do you stay relevant?
I mean, there are different ways. So first of all, I feel like he said, it's more of the okay, let me just put it this way. It's the person, not the account.
But it's the numbers on the account.
Okay, so when I say that, I mean, there's this very popular person on Instagram that his account has been deleted countless of times and everything, but he keeps coming back, and he keeps getting 1 million followers every time he comes back. 2 million, 3 million followers. So now it's not about the account, it's the person that owns the account. So that's the real influence.
So that's the real influence, the person.
Exactly.
Essie, how have you managed to stay bankable, stay relevant?
Okay, first of all, you have to understand the
Also, sorry, let me add, without being all over the place, because you are not all over the place.
Okay.
Yes.
So first of all, you have to, I skipped. I was going to say something. Okay, well, first of all, you have to understand the social media market. What do people like on Instagram? First of all, for the ladies, they like to see a girl who's always well-dressed. It doesn't mean you have to fake it till you make it.
Sorry, because what do you like for the guy?
I'm coming there. First of all, you have to understand the social media market to stay relevant. So if you check now, a lot of influencers, they have their team. When I say team, I mean their photographers, their makeup artists, their hairstylists, and all of that. So now, for the fact that you are in the limelight, you always have to appear flashy and very bright. You understand? And then you have people looking, I like that hair. Where did she get that hair from? You know, that alone, that kind of picture is already an engagement, you know, to keep people talking. The outfit might be nice, it might not be nice, but it keeps people talking. You understand? Then, on the other hand, that's fashion. Then on the other hand, comedy. You have to be funny. If you're not funny, well, you need to find a way to stay relevant. If you're not funny, you don't have jokes, then you have to be a motivational speaker. No, don't mind me though. But what I'm trying to say is you just have to find a way, because there's so many things to do that would keep you relevant. There's so many things to do. You don't have to be a cloud chaser. You don't have to, you know, pick up a story you see online and try to, I don't know how to put it. You just want to trend with just the way you talk, you know. Yeah. But stay relevant. I just feel you should find your strength in whatever you do, which is what I just mentioned. So, and I think, for me, I think that has been my way of staying relevant, and it's been working for me.
Lani, let me ask you this: financial literacy. Is it important for an individual to understand the money-making aspect of business, as opposed to having a team that runs everything for them? Oh, because we always hear things like, I'm the creative, I can't stress myself. We hear it. You know, I'm the creative, I can't bother my head with this, let my this handle it, let my that handle it. And then next thing you know, this person who's so creative, who's so talented, is boom, bankrupt. You know, there's, how did this person fall down? So do you think it's really essential? For some, is it okay? For some, is it not?
I think it is essential to at least understand plus and minus.
Yes.
As in, like, the basics of accounting. Like, okay, if I spend X amount of money. Because I think also, even, especially in maybe service business where there's no product. It's easier if I'm going to buy this outfit. Oh, I'll buy it for 30K, sell it for 60K. It's easier. But in the situation where It's a service where you're not. It's basically me promising to give you X amount of influence or whatnot. Sometimes people don't know how to price their service, because they don't know what it costs them. They don't know how much they're going to do ads for, So I think that understanding the basics of accounting is very important, but I don't think that it's essential for you to understand the whole thing. I think that it's essential for you to put the right people in place. People that, because you being me, if I'm, for instance, now writing is my skill set. Luckily, I'm an accountant, so obviously that was my training. But writing is my skill set, right? If you are an accountant, I'm going to bring you on board, but I need to be able to know that I'm checking. At the end of every month, let me see the money in my account. Even if I don't understand what went in, I understand the business. I'm going to get the PR person who is an expert. I don't want to pretend to be an expert in all those fields. I want to get experts in those fields because I feel like it will elevate me as a person. So, yeah.
At what point did you decide? Because you said you're an accountant.
Yes.
But you're a writer.
Yes.
Being a writer is what's bringing in all the cha-ching, the cheese, the cheddar. At what point did you decide that you were going to monetize this talent of writing that you have?
There are plenty of stories. But to keep it short,
give us the most interesting one. The most interesting one.
To keep it short and sweet, obviously, so I was a financial analyst with a company. I was writing. I wasn't making money from writing. But then, so I do a lot of, maybe because of the nature of like my training or education, is I do a lot of analysis, even self-analysis. And I figured like, if I'm a writer, if I'm an accountant for the rest of my life, do I think I can be the top 10 accountant in Nigeria? I couldn't see myself. If I pursue writing, do I see myself as possibly being top 10? And I said, okay, yes, I could.
Good.
And then I was about to get married. And I figured, you know what? I've proposed to this girl. It's better for me to take the jump now before I carry another person's daughter in the house and be drinking Gary. Because I know there'll be hard days. So let me face those hard days alone. So that's why I quit my job. And then I went on the journey to say, okay, you know what? This writing thing, how are we doing it?
And how has it been so far?
It's been good.
It's been good?
It's been, so I'll tell you the sweetest part. That's when I knew that, okay, maybe I'm doing something right. Obviously, when I quit my mom is an accountant as well. She has a firm. So you know that whole story. Oh, he'll take over the firm. Yada, yada, yada. My mom, I remember, which was one of the hardest parts. Because when I told my girlfriend at the time, she was like, is it what you want to do? I said, okay. I told my mom, what boss I could? As in, there are tears. And it's an image I still have. And then one day I'm just chilling. And then my mom sends me a message, I don't know why up to today. And she says she's sorry for delaying my venturing out. So it just feels like, okay, that means I'm doing something right. Yeah, so so it's been good.
It's been good.
Long and short, but that was the moment that
was the moment.
I was like, yeah, okay.
Okay. Beautiful story. At least your mom still came back to Apollo. African parents, they rarely do that. So, Essay, let me ask you this. What changes do you think we should see in the industry as regards monetizing one's personal brand?
Honestly, now that you've asked, I've actually not
thought about
any change. In the aspect of the influencers, I would say maybe because they don't have management, but I'm speaking on behalf of people who have, I'm speaking on behalf of the vendors, because I hear a lot of them complain a lot on how they pay influencers and then they don't get their jobs done. You understand? So it's just like you pay someone to advertise for you for a month or 2 months, and then they do 4 posts for you and you don't hear from them anymore. So I feel if you're being paid to do something, why don't you just do it, regardless of the fact?
See, that's where the contract comes in.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if it's not, you just have an MOU.
True.
You know, just an MOU stating this and this. These are what I'm obligated to do. Bang, bang. 7 posts. So and so days. Boom.
So I think that's one thing, because I personally don't like it when I see, especially the parts where they start calling each other out. So I think that's one of the things I would, like to see changes on.
What about you, Tomiwa?
So I'll be speaking on behalf of the micro influencers, right? So most of the time, these brands or these so-called agencies, they owe for like a very long time. I don't know if it happens to like, because these brands just feel like they can owe these guys for. I've done campaigns where I didn't get paid until like maybe a year after.
Stop.
Very ridiculous amount of money, or like when you even hear the amount. And so frustration now make me start threatening the real brand or like bro, what's going on?
Oh, so you call people
I'll
out?
call the brand. So the one that happened recently, yeah. So this was last year November. Like I was actually really, really frustrated because then I was not really doing like a lot when it like in terms of work, because I was in the hospital with my dad. He was very sick. So that period I was going through a lot mentally. Eventually died this year. So, thank you. So that period I was actually going through a lot. So there was this job I did one time for a particular brand, right? It came to one agency. Apparently this guy already got paid even before the campaign started. He got paid times 10 the amount I charged.
So he could have paid you.
So I reached out to the brand directly. I reached out to like my friends that actually work with the brand directly, and they were like, something that we already paid for. They sent me the invoice. They sent me the receipt of payment. I saw numbers. And then I was actually going to like the worst.
So
it was
you
actually
took it all out on. It was so painful.
So I was now lost in between calling this particular person out. Because he's always wearing trads.
Like a big boy.
On social media with Bible in his pocket. He's like, what's guy pay me?
So it's the trend that was annoying you. So people don't kill me, please.
So I mean, they need to like try as much as possible to like pay on time.
To pay.
Nobody's saying you should pay before it starts, but
At least max 30 days. Max. So final question.
Right.
Lani, I'm going to start with you. Just give us one short, quick, sweet comment for upcoming writers, as your own case now, on how they can be bankable.
So what I'll say is work on your craft.
Work on your
I
craft.
know that there's credibility and everything, but I believe that the industry is suffering for people that are charging for work they can't do. And it tells in the movies we see in the cinemas. I'm not going into that, but it tells in that. And you know how they say, there's this trending thing now, today's price is not yesterday's price.
Yes.
It's the same way that today's talent should not be yesterday's talent. When they come to learn it today, you should be better than yesterday. So that's what I would say.
Fantastic. Essay?
Well, if you ask me, I would say, first of all, you need to know your strength. Okay, because a lot of people just want to be an influencer.
Just for the sake of it.
Yes. But you need to know what exactly, I don't know how to put it, what exactly you are good at.
It's true to you.
Yeah, exactly. And then I feel like if you want to be bankable, you need to be open to, should I say,
criticism?
Yes.
Yes.
You have to be open to it, and then be willing to learn so you can be better. Because if you just want to do you just want to do your thing,
not listen to anybody.
Yes, my dear, you're going to make a lot of mistakes, and you won't know when you're going astray. So I feel that's it for me. That's what I have in my head right now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What about you, Tomiwa?
Okay, so I'll say you should be more niche driven.
Okay.
Right, because a lot of people are trying to like do everything at the same time. If you want to be into sports, please be into sports. If you want to be into food, if you want to be into lifestyle or what fashion, let's know that that's your niche. You can't be doing fashion and we're doing food tomorrow. You're going to confuse brand. Right? Okay.
Why are you firing shots at me? So why are you firing shots at me? I'm a girl, and I believe in OneonOne Waja.
Yes.
It's not one road that leads to the market.
No, I mean there are people like that, like for example now, even if a sports brand to reach out to you, probably do it.
Of course.
Exactly.
I will play the ball.
As long as you can do it right.
Well,
And again, it's all under the umbrella of entertainment. But I actually get you when you say you should be niche driven, because that's where the authenticity comes to play. Exactly. And that authenticity does bring in a lot of money when people can be can feel the truth and genuineness of whatever it is that you're trying to market.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I actually agree with you on that. Okay, well, I'll work on myself and I will work on a niche market.
Another one is avoid to finish though.
Yeah.
Avoid to finish.
Avoid see finish, but in this business, see finish is sometimes inevitable, dear, especially when you're starting out.
And that's why I said avoid it. I mean, see finish could come at some point, but then just try to avoid it.
Tolerate it. And then when you get to the level where you know what,
Hello.
I paid my dues.
You can't talk to me like
This ain't gonna
that.
happen no
Yeah.
more.
Not avoid to finish then, yeah?
Yes,
avoid
now.
safe.
But all right, thank you so much, Lani. Thank you so much,
you.
Essie. Thank you so much, Tomiwa. This was really interesting, and I'm sure everyone who's watching, who has probably thought about, oh, I want to be an influencer, oh, I want to be a writer, oh, I want to go into the lifestyle beauty business, you know, would have a thing or two to take away from this and would understand that, you know, there's so much more to your craft. There's so much more to you carving a niche for yourself. There's so much more to you being patient, you know, and understanding everything it is that you're doing. And, you know, with that, you can build your little community and it starts to grow. You're staying true to yourself and it starts to grow. And then you can become bankable.
But you know easier. You have to know. You have to. If not,
Yes.
don't
Very
ever be
important.
discouraged. You have to keep doing it. As
Very
long as your
important.
soul tells you this is what you want to do, you just have to keep doing it.
And
trust
initially,
it's going to
it might not make sense to you. It might not
Yes,
make sense,
at
but
some
eventually,
point, yeah.
you'll be good.
All right, guys. It's not easy. You have to stay true. It might not make sense in the beginning, but at the end of the day, everything would pay off.
Definitely.
So guys, share your comments in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you. Share with us, let us know things that you think can change the industry, the entertainment industry, things that you think can make one more bankable. Just share with us. We'd love to hear from you and we can communicate, rub minds, and yeah, help our lives become better. My name is Bisola Ayola. Thank you guys so much for watching Real Talk with us today. And until next time, au revoir.
Bye.